So the good news in D.C., the 2-block long Black Lives Matter, Black Lives Matter, the con, that mural that was just steps away from the White House, it is being removed. America is getting back to hopefully a normal type situation. The mayor of D.C. is removing it. She is having it removed, the Black Lives Matter mural, to ease tensions with the Trump administration and Congress, which is threatening to take over the city. So no matter what you think about mayors in urban areas and cities, you have to give this mayor credit. Removing the Black Lives Matter street mural, it should have never been placed down to begin with. New York Governor Kathy Hochul, you told us, Governor, that congestion pricing was going to make traffic flow better in New York City, that it was going to be easier. That lasted for a hot minute, but traveling to the station today for today's show, it took me a little, now granted, I'm coming from Rockland County, New York, it took me a little under 2 hours, almost gridlock on the FDR. So much for that, Governor Hochul, another Democratic promise up in smoke. And then I want you to listen to Jasmine Crockett, right? I want to know what rock did she crawl out from under. Oh, I'm such a nice girl. And now I'm going to run for Congress, and I'm going to throw racial bombs every day. I'm going to be a star, Mom. Look at me. I'm a star. I'm Congresswoman Jasmine Crockett from Texas. This brain scientist says it is not a criminal violation to enter the country illegally. She says it's not a crime.
It is not a criminal violation to enter the country illegally. It's not a criminal. It's a crime. It's not a crime, which is why they're so frustrated, because they really want our local law enforcement to go out and round up people when they could be looking out for the murderers and the sexual abusers as well as the robbers. They want them to go and round people up on civil accusations.
And if you want to know why in this particular case, black kids, 14-year-old black kids are picking up automatic weapons, firing at police, killing a 26-year-old Latino detective, dedicating his life to law enforcement, him and his partner not even able to get out of the car before they were shot in Newark Friday night, that's why. What you just heard from this Congresswoman. These super predator kids are listening to these uneducated lawmakers, and thus we are where we are society-wise. We're dealing with the situation of the 26-year-old detective in Newark, New Jersey, killed allegedly by a 14-year-old super predator that should have been caged a long time ago, and perhaps mommy and daddy, if daddy's around, should have been caged with them as well. Guardians, I don't know what the case may be. Also, boy, you got all that mouth when you're out there protesting. Now your wife is complaining, they have my husband, I don't know where he is. The pro-Palestinian leader that was leading those protests outside of Columbia, that, by the way, lives in Columbia housing, just graduated. Ice Baby did the right thing, picked him up. Authorities have him apparently in Louisiana. So when you think they should keep him there, as a matter of fact, he should be deported very soon, period. Don't keep him in Louisiana. Deport him. Wife, I almost said wifey, but wife, if you want to go see him, go visit him in the country wherever he's deported to. Let's see if you'll do that, knowing that your credentials would probably be revoked and you would not be allowed back in. So all the money spent on migrants, all the moolah spent on migrants, the mayors of New York, Chicago, Denver, Boston, you get it, sanctuary cities, at that congressional hearing just last week.
Mayor Johnson, in the last 4 years, how much has Chicago spent on care for illegal aliens?
Thank you, Congresswoman. It's $79 million over the last 2.5 years.
Mayor Adams, same question. How much has New York spent to care for illegal aliens?
Approximately $6.9 billion went out of our taxpayers' funds.
Mayor Wu, same question. How much has Boston spent to care for illegal aliens in the last 4 years?
We do not ask about immigration status and giving city services and providing that access, so we do not have a number.
Mayor Adams, $6.9 billion. I know on a personal level that you're smarter than that, much smarter than that. Come on, Mayor Adams. By the way, you can't tell me that he's running for mayor. Every day I receive 4 to 5 emails from Team Cuomo, nothing from the Adams campaign. Cuomo eating up Adams' base in Harlem, campaigning at Melva's restaurant, a major restaurant in Harlem, then going to a black church. Where was Mayor Adams? Nowhere to be found. Nowhere to be found. This reminds me of when Trump came to the South Bronx and the White House tried to poo-poo it that Trump was there. Doesn't matter. Biden has a lock on the vote. We see how well that worked out. Before I go back to your calls in a second, I'm going to go to Judith in Brooklyn. But another situation I'm following, Scott Jennings on CNN, this guy holds it down, Republican consultant, always tag team, triple team, 4 people on one. He still shines. And word is CNN is about to sign him to a long-term contract, and that's wonderful for him. But there's a controversy in the world of sports, right? So Stephen A. Smith, who I'm convinced supports Trump, Stephen A. Smith criticizes LeBron James' son for being in the NBA. If you see LeBron James' son play in the NBA, it's clear that this kid does not belong, doesn't have the skill, doesn't have the ability to play in the NBA. But his daddy is LeBron James. So the other day, Stephen A. Smith is at the game with an agent and some friends, and out comes LeBron James, and he gives Stephen A. Smith an earful. And then Stephen A. Smith basically saying, keep my son's name out your mouth. And then he walks away. And then Stephen A. Smith, I might have did the same thing in fairness, goes on air and says, you got to understand, LeBron was talking as a father. So he gives him an out because LeBron is so big. You may not like him, folks, but he is the NBA. So Stephen A. Smith can't take him on. But Scott Jennings on CNN had this to say about that.
Look, LeBron is a huge baby. The only reason that his son is in this position right now is because his dad demanded that he be put in the league. He's not ready to be in the league. And that's just a fact. I mean, anybody can watch the game and know that. That's number one. Number two, Stephen A. Smith is well within his rights to criticize this. Number three, and I just want to make a political point. If Stephen A. Smith expects to be the president of the United States, which it sounds like he does expect to be that someday, he's going to have to tighten up and toughen up a little bit. When I heard him talk about this morning, I heard someone who'd been backed down a little bit, who had been sort of cowed a little bit by LeBron James. Brother, if you run for president or become the president, you're going to have a lot tougher conversation with a lot more important people. So toughen up and stand by your criticism. But I think in this case, LeBron James, huge baby.
Okay. 800-848-9222. Stephen A. Smith for president. Did I hear that correct? Stephen A. Smith for president. Stephen, you got game. You're working it with sports, but stay in your lane, bro. Stay in your lane. You're not ready for politics. Stay in your lane. Judith, line 4 in Brooklyn. What's on your mind, Judith?
Hi, Dominic. I'll tell you, I really, really wish that all the police cars and police would have bulletproof cars and bulletproof headgear. I've been wanting that for a long time, but now this detective would be alive if that would have happened. And also, regarding the 14-year-old cop killer, when you look at rap music lyrics, plus the BLM messaging, which is all against cops, then hence you've got this 14-year-old cop killer. Besides whatever Kevin said, which happens to be, I happen to love what Kevin said also. And you also, Dominic, also. So that's my point.
So, Judith, before I let you go, do you think the parents or the guardians should be criminally charged in this situation?
I don't know enough about them. Honestly, I don't know enough about them. I don't know how it possibly, I don't know. I can't comment on that because I don't know the parents. I just know that this is a 14-year-old kid with a gun and he just shot like crazy. How he has a gun, I don't know. Maybe the parents are responsible. According to Kevin, the parents are also this way. The mother's very whatever. So, yeah, like the way you were saying, you have this, that's what you produce. That's what they see. They probably hear all this anti-cop stuff in the house, but it can come from, videos can come from, like I said, you ever listen to these rap lyrics? It's amazing how these kids know every syllable of these rap lyrics. They degrade women. Everything is horrible. They're against cops. They think it's heroic to kill a cop.
Unfortunately, Judith, you are correct. Thank you for the call. They think it's heroic to kill a police officer until they do it. And then, oh, mom, help me. Dad, help me. I didn't mean it. No. Don't cry now. You just took this man's life on nonsense.